Stevens.
Well, thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It is a pleasure to be in this debate. I do sometimes, and it's no disrespect to the Honourable Lady, but when I see Southend West on the screen, I very much think of a brilliant campaigning Member of Parliament, David Davis, and I think it is very fitting indeed that this debate is named after him. And when you think, Madam Deputy Speaker, that only fairly recently an issue that was that Sir David was very passionate about, animal welfare, was back in the statute book and law, I think was very much appropriate. And even thinking back to his many achievements in getting legislation through, I'm thinking also of the Warm Homes and Energy Conservation Act, which redefined public policy towards tackling fuel poverty in the UK. And I do believe that that's quite a pertinent issue just now as we face the cost of living crisis. There's a phrase that I don't really like that I keep hearing, and that people have a choice in whether to heat or eat. And the reason I don't like that phrase is because there are, for me, there are still far too many people who don't even have that choice. When they go to a food bank, it's not just food they're looking for, it's a fuel voucher as well. The reality, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that there are still too many people in poverty across these islands. And it has been a surprise to me that in the Conservative Party leadership contest, that's not yet, I think, featured as an issue. But of course, the Conservative Party leadership can be entertaining for those of us who are watching from the outside. Indeed, one of the leadership candidates appeared to suggest that Darlington was in Scotland, and that was a surprise both to the people of Scotland and indeed Darlington. But I should really welcome the Deputy Leader to his place. I'm told that researchers, Madam Deputy Speaker, are discovering that he's one of the first members of Parliament who's been elevated into the front bench, who's seen his Hansard contributions drop sharply. So, and I think that's because of his many contributions here. But I wish him well in his glittering career in the front bench, of which I'll be watching with interest. He is well, he may very well become an establishment stooge, but I'll be watching with interest his glittering career from the safety, Madam Deputy Speaker, in the years ahead in an independent Scotland. But he knows the Deputy Leader and I both follow passionately NFL and American football, and he'll be aware of my team's brand and logo, the Raiders, to a commitment to excellence. If only, Madam Deputy Speaker, the government had a commitment to excellence. And I'm thinking that so many members across the House have mentioned issues of passport office and the problems we have with constituents. And I'm trying genuinely to be helpful here, Madam Deputy Speaker. I want to reiterate the call I made earlier today at Business Questions. I really think if ministers and officials have regular updates, either virtually or through a conference call with members across the House, so we can address some of the systematic problems that exist in the Passport Office, I think that would be really helpful to everyone across the House. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to raise a couple of other issues of concern, and I noticed a number of members talked about the tone of debates, and I think that's absolutely right. But there's now seems to be this debate going on about the size of the state. And I'm very concerned that the government seems to be pressing ahead with 91,000 civil service job cuts, and government departments being asked to put forward proposals for 20% staff cuts, 30% and 40% staff cuts. And then they're going to establish, and departments are being asked, well, what would the department look like and what could it not do with that? I think that is the wrong approach. There's also I'll give way to Honourable Friend.
Some forgiving way, and does he let me see the contradiction on the part of the government who talk about cutting tax, therefore have fewer resources to resource our public services, and how does he think that would add up with an idea of levelling up, because the two of them are mutually exclusive, aren't they?
Well, I thank my Honourable Friend for that. I think the fact that the government want to also close government offices, of which in some towns and cities public sector offices are the largest employer, goes against that. I'm also concerned, Madam Deputy Speaker, at the increasing anti-trade union rhetoric that we've heard recently, and this a way to legislate in haste, and I'm particularly thinking about trying to bring in agency workers to bus strikes. Agencies themselves don't support that legislation, so why the government went ahead with that, I really have no idea. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to pay tribute to every single constituency office and constituency staff across these islands, but I have to pay particular tribute to the number 1 team who find themselves in Glasgow South West, and that's of course Justina, Dominique, Lindsay, Raz, Alistair, Keith, Greg, my new office manager Scott McFarlane, who takes over from the great Rosa Sally, who I was delighted, Madam Deputy Speaker, was elected as the first refugee councillor in Scotland in the council elections in May this year, representing the Greater Pollock ward. And I want to pay particular tribute to all community groups, particularly community groups in Glasgow South West, who will be running summer programmes looking after the elderly, looking after young people and addressing food poverty. And it just leaves me to say, Madam Deputy Speaker, to wish everyone a good summer, and to quote Alice Cooper, school's out for summer.
Yes.